Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. I am your host, Brian Burns, and joined once again by my wonderful co-host, Molly Barbieri.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
And we're super excited to have with us today the captain of your Tampa Bay Sun football club, Jordyn Listro. Jordyn, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us today.
Thanks for having me.
It's a very exciting time for you, for the club. You guys are in the playoffs. You found out last week that you're going to host. Just to peel back the curtain a little bit, we're recording this episode on a Friday. It's 8 days away from your semifinal matchup. You still don't know who you're going to play because teams are playing the final regular season game of the USL Super League tomorrow, Saturday. So your opponent is still up in the air, but you're training, you're getting ready for your game on June 7th at Riverfront Stadium. Just what is it like being in the playoffs, getting into the postseason, but not really knowing who you're going to be playing?
Yeah, it's obviously a unique situation. We didn't think it would come down to the final weekend, but it's just so exciting. This team has really peaked at the right time, and we're just getting better and better and better. So we're able to focus on our own performance and just tightening things up in each position and making sure that, we're going to play our best no matter what opponent we end up playing on Saturday.
Just more just kind of focusing on your own structure, your own strategy, and things that you want to do, regardless of who the opponent's going to be.
Yes.
And I'm sure maybe some lingering injuries from a long regular season or knocks that you pick up throughout the year, those get a little chance to heal because you all have 2 weeks off from your last regular season game into your postseason game. Your opponent's only going to have the 1 week off, so you'll have a little bit of extra rest, and I assume a little bit of an advantage there.
Yeah, for sure, an advantage. We get to have this weekend to do recovery, and then as soon as Monday starts, get ready to just keep going and, grow from the last game we played. I think that was a really good match for us. I think everyone on our team had a great performance, every position. So we're going to look to build on that, but we're happy that we ended the way we did in the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a 2-0 win over DC. You have Fort Lauderdale, Spokane, and Dallas are the three options of the teams that you could play. Is there any... Do you want to play one over the other? Does it really matter at this point? You've played them all, so you kind of know what kind of style they play. So is there a preference there?
I think all of them have a different style, but the one thing that we're most excited about is playing at home. I think that we can beat anyone when we're at home, and you've seen that. I mean, our record at home speaks for itself. We have an incredible fan base, and that gives us the extra edge.
Yeah, I read that you all you finished the regular season with the best home record in the USL Super League. So that's certainly something that you can kind of hang your hat on and should give you an advantage going into this postseason game.
Yes.
We're watching social media and we see the Pirate Water Taxi arrivals, and that looks like a super cool thing to do that's kind of unique to Tampa Bay and something that you don't really get to see anywhere else. Just what has this season been like playing for you? It's the first year, the inaugural year of Tampa Bay Sun FC. You've had a chance as the captain to kind of put your stamp on what that team looks like, what the franchise looks like, and what it will look like, going into the future. So, how has this season been? How has the support been from the fans, and what has your experience been like?
I've honestly enjoyed every minute of it. I'm so passionate about the city of Tampa, obviously going to college here and being back. And so there's just so many new things that have been popping up in the city, even from when I went to college here, just new areas. And so even Armature Works, I mean, that wasn't here when I was in college. So it's so exciting to see our fans and then take a water taxi to our game. I've never seen that before. And then the St. Patrick's Day game, I mean, having the Green River, so many of my teammates who, aren't from Tampa were like, oh my God, this is so cool. And even fans that flew in for that game or parents of the other team, they always talk about how, coming to Tampa is their favorite away trip because there's so much to experience. And then, from just playing on the team, we've just tried to engage with the community as much as possible. We try our best to do community service events and then just little bonding activities with the team throughout Tampa. And I think that's helped us gel on the field because we spend so much time together off the field.
Are you kind of the maybe like the tour guide or the representative here locally for all the team members that aren't, from the area?
A little bit. I think people always think I'm from Tampa too, just because the way I talk about this city. But yeah, I mean, I love when people do fun things in Tampa. I get so excited. I've 2 English teammates, and we took them to Gasparilla or just different events in Tampa, and I just love to see them having fun in this city. It makes me happy.
The stadium that you guys play in, it's picturesque. I mean, it's
It
right
really
there on the
is.
river.
Yes.
Across the river, you've got armature works. It's just kind of like when you were in USF, there probably wasn't much going on in that section of the city, and now you
No.
look and it's just like a bustle of activity. And is it just kind of cool to play in that setting?
Yeah, I remember when I was at USF, I honestly just stayed in the USF area, and my parents had come to visit, and they actually explored downtown for the first time. So they were like, "You should come down here. There's a lot of cool things." And at that time, there wasn't as much as there is now. But now, obviously, with Armature Works and all those things, I mean, it's so cool. Like the sunsets, we do a night practice every week that we have a home game, and that Wednesday night practice, I mean, we're like admiring the sunset and trying to focus
Yeah.
on the drills. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What about being the captain of the team? That's a big deal. And to be the captain of, an inaugural franchise, like how have you tried to put your stamp on not just this team, but maybe what the team and the franchise looks like going forward?
Yeah, it's such a unique experience too because it's brand new. We have like everyone on the team is brand new. So I've never been in a position like this before. But I've always kind of been more of a leader by example, and I've always just kind of led by example by working super hard and just trying to be as consistent as I can. So I've been trying to encourage my teammates just to do the same and just to give everything they have every time we step out onto the field. I think that you can only play this sport for so long. So to just make the most of every opportunity is the way to look at it. And then, yeah, we have a lot of rookies and younger players, and I hope that I can give them confidence to just be themselves and to do their best every time they're out there.
And then the season itself, like how did it go for you? Was it something where, you said earlier that you guys are kind of peaking at the right moment. Did it take a while to get everybody kind of on the same page and build to that? Or was it something that you had right away?
No, I think it definitely took a lot longer than we had thought. We got our international players a little later than every other team in the league. So they're very impactful players. And so when they came to us, we had to kind of adjust formations or move people around in positions. And then you saw the fall, we were kind of up and down, up and down, up and down, just trying to figure things out, what the best formation to play was, personnel. And then come the spring, I think we kind of figured everything out. And then everything started just clicking at the right time.
And how's the dynamic of the team? Like you said, you've never been put in this position. Like this is a brand new team, the inaugural season. You said the international players kind of came in later. Like what is the dynamic of the team like? Do you guys get along? Like how has that grown?
Yeah, honestly, I've never been on a team, being genuine here, where every single person is like a great human being and everyone truly gets along. We do our coach Denise implemented this Make Your Day Wednesday. And so once a month on Wednesdays, you like pick out of a hat and you pick one teammate and you get a gift for them.
That's like a Secret Santa
yes.
kind of. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And so, you go to your locker you don't know what Wednesday it's going to be. So a random Wednesday in the month. And then you have like a basket of all your favorite things. So just to see everyone like so excited about these things and like to go shopping after training for it, it's special. And those little things I think help so much. She did these things at USF as well, and we always had such like a family oriented team, and she's brought that here, and yeah, it's special to be a part of.
And like you mentioned, bringing in the international players like midway through the season or at a point in the season where you've already started and built that camaraderie. So is that I would imagine maybe that could upset, the momentum of what you guys are building to bring in new personalities, but it doesn't seem like that's been the case.
Yeah, I think we embraced everyone. They all bring something different and they all are, from a different culture. So it's nice to learn from them and then, figure out which ways they can help the team. And I think every international has brought something different and we needed that. And that just goes to the show, like the coaching staff has done a great job in recruiting too. Like I've said this a bunch, but we truly have every tool that we need to win. Like
it speaks volumes.
Our goalkeepers are incredible. Our defenders are incredible. We have, everything that we need on the back line. Midfield is great. And then the forwards, we have so many goal scoring threats that on any given day, anyone can show up. So we're very lucky with our roster.
Yeah, a lot of confidence going into the playoffs.
Yes.
What would you say has been your favorite part of the game day experience?
Honestly, the water taxi is very cool. That
Yeah.
is one thing I love.
Where do you
But
pick that up? So you get on where?
at Armature Works.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah,
then it
so
takes you just across to the river? Or
we
to
bus
across
to
the river to the
Armature,
stadium?
and then, just get on the water taxi right to the side of the stadium. So that's been exciting. Just like the fans, honestly, like the Heat Wave, our supporter group, has done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And, we always hear them from minute 1 to 90 plus minutes. So, yeah, I would just say being in Tampa and, seeing that support week in and week out.
Do you recognize any fans that were with you at USF and saw your games, and now they're here watching you with the Sun?
Definitely some girls that I used to train. We had
Yeah.
a program called Future 50 at USF, and I did it every single year. And I mean, they were probably 10 at the time, and now they're
Aw.
like 16, 17 going off to college. And I was like, wait, that's you? It's crazy.
Aw.
But yeah, I've seen them in the stands, and it's just nice to see it all come full circle.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your USF experience, because you grew up in Toronto,
Mhm.
and like many Canadians, you made your way to Florida somehow, whether to play soccer or to live, to be snowbirds. But can you take us through your recruiting process and like what schools were looking at you, why you decided to go to USF?
Yeah, I knew that I wanted to go to the States at a young age. Just at that time, if you were part of like the youth national teams, you knew that in order to, go as far as you could in soccer, you kind of had to come to the US to play in NCAA. So I would say at like maybe not even 13, 12, I knew like, okay, I need to start looking at US schools. And yeah, I was with the youth national teams. And so we'd actually get a lot of college coaches come watch our like scrimmages or tournaments. And so I was looking more at the Michigan schools just because I'm very close with my family. And I don't think anyone would have imagined me being this far away from them. So yeah, I had my heart set on those. I actually visited Dartmouth because I went to a small private school in Toronto. So I thought maybe that would be equivalent instead of a big school like USF. But Denise's husband, Chris, actually came to one of my games in Canada and recruited me there and spoke to them on the phone. And I don't know, just the feeling I got speaking to them on the phone and having like a husband and wife duo be the head coaches of USF was just something I hadn't seen or heard of. So I took my visit there, and I'll always remember my dad was like, she's not going there. And my mom's like, let's just let her try it. Like, let's see. She won't like it when she goes on the visit, but at least she went. Go on the visit. We all fell in love with it. I mean, Denise and Chris welcomed me with open arms from day one. And so, yeah, I just knew that it was the right fit as soon as I stepped on campus.
Was it the program? Was it the city? Was it, the weather, a combination of everything? They kind of sealed the deal for you?
Yeah, I think the weather for sure, just being in the heat. I mean, I remember being in a dome in Canada and freezing cold, shoveling snow as our warm-up sometimes, to be honest, with the national team. And then coming here, the weather was one thing. And then there were Canadians on the team as well. So I think just hearing their experience, and they, stayed the whole 4 years. A lot of people transfer after, but they loved their experience. That gave me a little more comfort. And I was like, okay, they loved their experience. I'm from Canada, so I'll love mine as well, hopefully. And I mean, I did. It was the best 4 years of my life.
Yeah, obviously that experience, you stayed the entire 4 years. You left as USF's record holder for most games played. And then after USF, you kind of stuck around the area. Like you played in Orlando for a couple years.
Mhm.
Obviously, you're back here with the Tampa Bay Sun. So was that a coincidence? Was it just like those were the opportunities where they were for you to play soccer, to continue your professional career? Or were you looking kind of for something in this area because you wanted to stay here?
Yeah, I would say that I definitely wanted to stay here. There was something about Florida that felt like home for me. Like, I remember my freshman year coming back home in the summer after the first season, and my dad was like, oh, like, you're never going to want to come back. And I was like, yes, I will. Toronto's my home. Like all my friends are there. And he was like, okay, we'll give it a couple more years. And when I graduated, I knew that this is the place I wanted to be. And I actually met my husband. He played golf at USF.
Okay.
And so we both just fell in love with Tampa. He's from Orlando. But there was something about Tampa that we just loved. So I wanted to be here. Unfortunately, at the time, there was no professional team to play on. But Orlando was the closest. So that's where I had my heart set, and it worked out for me, and I enjoyed my experience there, but would obviously drive home every off day, 2 hours to come back to Tampa, see my husband, see my friends. And then when this opportunity presented itself, I was like, this is the perfect fit for me, and there's no way I can't be there.
So did you hear about the Tampa Bay Sun like forming a team before you were recruited, or was your recruitment how you kind of found out about that?
There was like whispers here and there about a new league coming, and I had heard there might be a Tampa team, but at that time it was kind of just an idea and no one was really talking about it that much. And I was with Orlando at the time, happy because it was close enough to Tampa. Right. And then actually Denise had said that she was interviewing for the head coaching role. And I was like, well, there's no way that this is all going to pan out. Like, It can't be real. And so then I heard more and more about it. And when she got the job, then she started recruiting. And I mean, as soon as it was announced that she was the head coach, I was like, I need to be reunited with her if that's a possibility.
Yeah, because you already know her and you're so comfortable with her, and I feel like that was what drew. I mean, that connection kind of also really drew you to Tampa. So that's super special.
I just honestly can't believe that it's real. Like I still pinch myself. Like how am I reunited with my college coach? How am I in the city that I love, and to be able to do it within my career? Like, I mean, this team could have started in 10 years, let's say, and I would have never had the opportunity. Yeah. So I'm just, so grateful that I'm able to live out my dream in the city I love.
And so you're going to ride this out with the Sun as long as you can.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Did you know Christina Uncle before, coming to the team? Had you met her?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. Did she have a role in like helping to recruit you, or was it more your head coach that you were familiar with?
Yeah, more my head coach, I would say. After she got the job, I think, they were trying to figure out their rosters, and then I was able to help in a way and see if any other players had heard about this Tampa team, and then, try and recruit some of my friends. So, that worked out as well.
And then how did you get to be the captain? Like, how was that process?
Yeah, honestly, it was in preseason. Denise kind of came up to me and she had formed like a leadership group just based off of, what she felt during preseason, people with experience or just how people were interacting with others on the team. And she came to me and she was like, hey, like, I want you to wear the armband. Like, is this something that you want? And I was like, I mean, yes, I would love to. It was like such an honor. And so I've just been, trying to do my best in this role and try and be more of a vocal leader, which I think I need to continue to improve on. But yeah, it's honestly such an honor.
So we were looking at your bio page. We were doing a little bit of research. We found a couple of interesting things. It said that you're one of your favorites. Actually, the first thing was that obviously in Canada that you played hockey growing up. What were you better at hockey at one point than soccer? Was soccer always kind of your first love? And
soccer was always my first love. I mean, my grandparents were all born in Italy, so I think it's a huge part of their culture. So I'd always watch, the Italian professional league with my grandfather like every weekend. And just being in Canada, a lot of people play hockey growing up. And so a couple girls on my soccer team actually started hockey and I decided to do it as well. I played it for a couple years and I enjoyed it, but there was nothing like soccer. I always knew that, yes, soccer was.
So you've always played soccer? Like there wasn't really more of like a switch from like, oh, I'm playing hockey, but like I think I really want to play soccer.
Always
like you've always played soccer.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And were you kind of the same position in hockey that you were in soccer? Like were you
I was always
forward?
I was always a winger and a forward, and until I went to USF, and then now I've completely changed, but I came in as a winger, and there were really good senior wingers at that time, and Denise was like, okay, we might have to change your position, to get you as many minutes as possible. And so I did, and honestly, credit to her husband Chris, because he just practice with me all the time to just be better defensively. And now I'm known for like my defensive presence.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he did, but I'm thankful for him.
And then we also read that you are a big coffee fan.
Yes.
We noticed you came in with your cup of coffee when you came up to the studio
Yes.
today. Do you have a go-to spot in Tampa that you always pick up?
I go to the Lab a lot.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
close
that's
to
a
my
good one.
house. I love the Lab. I've been going to Hotel Haya recently too.
Oh, Cafe Kikiriki.
Yes,
So
I don't know how to
good.
pronounce it, but
No,
I'm glad you
Cafe
did.
Kikiriki. It's like cock-a-doodle-doo, but in Spanish.
Oh,
to my
okay.
understanding. Yeah, I might be
Nice.
wrong about that.
But yeah, honestly, those two I'd say are my
Yeah,
favorite.
I always forget about the Lab because it's just kind of
Yeah.
hidden over there in North Tampa or North Soho, I guess they call
Yes.
that now. So that's kind of where you are, where you
Yeah,
put down roots?
Hyde Park. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's probably like a 2-minute drive. I could probably walk there as well, and actually go to the gym beside that Suka, so it's
Okay.
convenient.
Oh,
Get a coffee,
perfect.
go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then one other thing we read, and I don't know if this is kind of an infamous fact, but it said you
gosh.
got the first red card in
Oh.
USL Super League history, like earlier in May.
Oh, yeah, probably like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, I have told myself this season, I was like, I used to get yellow cards all the time
Yeah.
just for being really aggressive. And I'm like, I need to tone that down a little. So, because in the NWSL, actually, if you get 5 yellow cards, you have to sit out a game. So I was always teetering on that like 4th card. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't want to have to sit out because I mean, it hurts the team. It hurts
Right.
you as an individual. And so this year I was like, okay, come on, Jordyn, no yellow cards. And so I'd been doing really well. And yeah, we were playing Dallas and I saw the ball was bouncing. And I don't know why I decided to try and like flick the ball. And I didn't even know I was this flexible, but I stuck my foot out so high and the player on the other team went to head the ball at the same time as my foot
Oh.
was up. And so my cleats hit her, in the head. So from my view, I could not see her at all. But obviously from the TV view, it looked very reckless, which, yeah, I apologize for that. But yeah, it was a straight red, never gotten a red card in my life.
Really?
And it was the first in the league. So yeah, it was 25 minutes into the game, and that was a game that we needed to win.
Yeah.
Luckily, we had scored before that, so I got off, and my team managed to pull out the win with 10 players. I mean, credit to them. Dallas is a really good team,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
playing with one less player, I mean, very challenging, but we did it, which was great. And then I got a 1-game suspension, so I had to sit out against Lexington. But again, great game for the team. We won, and then, yeah, I was back in the lineup for Carolina.
But I don't think people realize like how split second those decisions are, and a play that you thought that you could make, and then someone else just happens to be there, and then it's straight red, and it's just like it's so hard to make those calls like in the middle of action like that.
Yeah, I knew as soon as the ref grabbed
Yeah.
his
As soon as he went for the
pocket, I was
pocket,
like,
yeah.
this is going to be a red card, and there's no way to argue it or anything. So just since I've never gotten one, I didn't really know the protocol, but you have to. Yes, you get off the field, which I knew, but you cannot go out into the stadium after.
Oh.
So I was
At
in the
all?
I was in the locker
Oh.
room alone, like
Oh.
watching the game on one of our staff members' computers,
Oh,
just
no.
like by myself, like
Jordan.
freaking out, like, come on. So yeah, it was not a fun experience. But I learned from it.
I have to imagine
yeah.
that was maybe the most nerve-wracking thing is
Yes.
watching the game that you were just playing in and not being able to like have any kind of impact on
Yeah,
it.
couldn't watch live at all. And it was a little bit delayed on the computer, so I could hear the sounds from the
Uh,
stadium. And I
Like
was
the
like,
the
So you
fans
know something's
screaming.
happened,
and-
but you don't
yes,
know
but
what
I
it
have no
is.
idea what it is. Yeah.
So once again, June 7th, your game against the to-be-determined opponent, semifinal matchup. It'll be at Riverfront Stadium, 7:30 p.m. kickoff, I'm assuming.
I think so.
Okay. Just what do you guys have to do to win?
Yeah, I think we just have to keep doing what we've been doing. We've gotten success doing, the little things right. And so I think come Monday, we just focus back in and make sure every training session is intense and focus on the small details leading up to it and play with confidence because
Yeah.
that's when we're our best.
Hopefully the momentum that you guys built, towards the end of the regular season and that confidence carries over into playoffs and you guys are hoisting some kind of trophy at the in mid-June.
Yes, we have to add to Champa Bay, or What is
Yeah,
it? Champa
Champa
Yeah,
Bay?
Champa Bay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys have to make your mark.
Yes.
And then you can have a boat parade up
I
the hills,
know,
bro,
that
to
would
the
be so
stadium. That would
fun.
be
That would be really
amazing.
fun.
You almost have to do
Pirate
it
Water
just for that.
Taxi's got to
I
sponsor
know.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Jordyn, thanks so much for being here with us, taking
Thank
some time out
you.
of your busy practice schedule to be here and talk to us today.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for listening and watching another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. Join us for the next episode as we unlock more treasures of Tampa Bay.